Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Look at my bookshelf. That was actually a gift to me from a former client and now really good friend, so I like it. I am actually refilming this video literally 24 hours less than it's due, and I spent an entire week editing the original one, but it is because I have decided I am still going to share with you the 3 key mindsets of healing dissociation. I'm just going to be a little less personal about it and not share as much of why I was diagnosed with a dissociation disorder. But hold up, hang on. Hi, my name is Kayleigh. I am a certified health coach. On this channel, I create wellness and healing content along with some sprinkling of accepting and embracing womanhood and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. As we know, every time I do a video, my spiel is different because I'm still trying to define what it is that I'm doing on this walk of life. 7 years ago, I was diagnosed with a severe dissociation disorder. And the reason I call it severe is because within my time of healing my dissociation disorder, I experienced symptoms of dissociative identity disorder. If you do not know what that is when you have experienced such intense, complex dissociating, especially from childhood, and likely because of trauma, you develop multiple voices inside of your head. So I have definitely rode the rodeo of dissociation. It was one of the most severe things I have ever faced in life, and the fact that it is healed and I am good and I am whole is nothing short of a miracle, because I was actually told in my healing journey by multiple people that I would never be normal. I was told I would never be able to actually fully heal this, and I sought out other people who were experiencing symptoms of dissociative identity disorder through podcasts, and every single podcast I found were people who are living with it, not people who were past it. I'm past it. And so I don't know if I've done the impossible or the unthinkable, but it's a thing that I've done. So I'm going to share with you my 3 key mindsets for healing dissociation. Let me just define dissociation for us real quick. Dissociation is a survival tactic the mind uses to separate us from ourselves, our life, our mind, our thinking, our actions, in an attempt to protect us from the intensity of an environment, a situation, a trauma. I think that there are components of dissociation that are perfectly normal, and something I had said in my previous video was that dissociation is not a supernatural experience. It is encoded into the human body-mind system to be able to happen, so it is a human experience that happens. It can feel very supernatural, especially when you experience very severe dissociation, which is to leave the body and experience what is happening to you from the perspective of an observer versus the experiencer. So yeah, okay. Mindset number 1 that you need to have when healing dissociation is to understand the actual logistics of body-mind connection. Now I have a video that I'm gonna link right there. No, probably right there. I have a video that I'm gonna link right here that I actually really talk about this in the perspective of how trauma and sin are very related, and dissociation really reminds me of what scripture says about how our flesh mind has a lot of influence over us. That's just side note, if you want to go check that out. But I'm going to keep this conversation very secular. So you need to understand that your body and your mind are connected hormonally, physiologically, physically, hormonally, cellularly. Everything is very connected. Your mind is not an entity that is separate from the vessel, the body, the instrument by which you live. They're not separate. In dissociation, we separate and we actually experience life detached from our body, or in some cases, we are very trapped inside of our body. That was an experience that I had, was being very trapped inside of my body while my body was continuing to move along the currents of trauma. You need to understand that these are connected, because this is how you transition into mindset 2, reassociation. I call this the integration process or the reassociation process. Because of whatever has happened to instigate your pattern of dissociation, your mind has done this from your body. Your mind and your body have done this. So your mind takes up the entire space, every single cell of the body, and for some reason, it's like this now. And we need to reassociate the two together, or reintegrate the parts. If you're experiencing symptoms of dissociation to the utmost extreme, which is to experience multiple identities, multiple voices, or multiple personalities inside of yourself, a key understanding you must equip with all of your might and strength is that none of these fractured parts of you are an independent whole. If you've gone that far into dissociating, you may not have. I'm just speaking to the most extreme because I experienced the most extreme. Not a single one of these parts is a autonomous individual. And an instinct that I had in my therapy for healing my symptoms of dissociative identity disorder was to never give one of these identities a name. I categorized them by color and prominent emotion. You are not trying to rip yourself open and apart and further individualize these fractured parts. You are trying to bring them back together. In my personal experience, trying to dive into the deep darkness of what's in between the cracks is an inevitable crash into the bottom pit of despair. It doesn't get you anywhere. You need to instead head the movement, the motion, be an activist for your own healing about reintegrating and bringing all of this together. Key understanding number 1 is that body-mind connection, and key understanding number 2 is the integration process. So that makes number 3 actually creating experiences inside of the body. This is where you take action on the other 2 mentalities. The other 2 are ideas, they're mentalities, they're intellectualized concepts about healing. Now you have to create action. So in order to ignite these 2 understandings, you need to create action of experiencing being inside of your body. You need to intentionally and powerfully create new sensations in the body. What's incredible about this is this means engaging with your 5 senses in safe circumstances. For me, this looked like going to art museums, going hiking, being outside, going into the sunshine, lots of outside, picking flowers, painting, singing, drawing, doing movement, exercising, creating time and space to experience being inside of the body while intentionally equipping the idea of body-mind connection and intentionally equipping the idea of reintegration process and creating this action of touchdown. When you go to an art museum and you take your journal or your sketchbook and you sit in front of a piece of painting and you remind yourself that your body and your mind are connected and you remind yourself that you're on a journey of reintegration and you journal and you reflect, that's a touchdown moment. You're taking in new sights, you're taking in new sounds, and you're creating a new intention. So you're literally creating a new neural pathway. You're creating a new pattern inside of your holistic understanding about who you are, how you exist in your body, and how to move forward inside of your body. Creating touchdown moments of peaceful, safe, and exploratory curious existence inside of the body is what creates deep, impactful healing to reverse dissociation or to create a new pattern of association with the body, to associate with the body. Something you need to understand, no matter what, is that you cannot control your dissociation, and you cannot control body-mind connection. You can't control the reintegration process, and you cannot control healing. None of this is about having control over the process, the system, any of it. This is about surrendering into the experience and taking courageous action toward creating new experience. It is a process of surrender and healing, not a process of control and bullying yourself into being something other than you're not. Because come on, anyone who is healing dissociation knows you dissociated out of a survival need to do so. So to then punish yourself or punish the state in which you exist because of that is counterproductive to the actual healing journey. So inform yourself on body-mind connection, accept that it's an integration process, and process means journey, not but it is a journey. And then take ownership of yourself and accountability for creating safe space to touch down into the body. Surrender the control, accept the process, embrace healing, and experience the healing as it happens. This was the only thing, and it's a big thing, it's a really big thing. It was the only thing. It was the process by which I healed my dissociation. That to the point now, I think it's been at least 2 years since I've experienced any dissociativeness at all, and even that was far and few in between. I was literally told, let me grab you by the shoulders, I was literally told that I would never, ever be fully past this. And now sometimes I forget that I walked it. That's why it's so important for me to get this content out here while it's still in my mind, because I'm so ready to be past it. I'm so ready to just go off into what the future holds in the next chapter of life, because this is no longer actively being written in my life, healing from that. It's healed. Let me just say real quick that I don't tell you guys any of this information as like a licensed therapist or psychologist or anyone who has any authority in medicine, psychology, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I have a health coaching certificate because I love health and wellness, and I offer life coaching because I love offering people my support, service, aid, and enthusiasm. And I tell you this as someone who has walked it, lived it, experienced it, healed it, and now I am thriving in life and actually living each day like it is a full, beautiful day, instead of being trapped inside of myself, wondering how long I'm gonna have to bang on the bars. So yes. Okay, if you have any questions about this and you want me to dive deeper and go further, just let me know. My name is Kayleigh. I'm a certified health coach, and I offer Christian life coaching to those who are seeking it. I help believers get grounded and focused. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you so much. If you want to check me out on other socials, I've got a new link tree. It'll be linked down below. You guys have a good one. I'll see you next week.